Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, and Amazon. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today, we're going to talk about two of my favorite brands and also bec- mm, everlasting brands. I think this could be something that I can say about both brands, Blue and Logitech. And there's a funny fact about this. When I started my live stream journey back in 2015, I was using both products from both brands. I was using the Blue Snowball Ice, the microphone, and the C920, the Logitech webcam. And fun fact, I think later they saw, okay, Marco is using those products, so let's put the brands together. I think that was the reason. So, if you are watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, please join us on Amazon. Just type marketing.live. Don't forget as well to follow. Okay. And I have in the basement, as usual, Daniel Sigman. I think I left there one cookie and a glass of water. So, hello, Claudia. It's time to bring Daniel as well. Let me see if it's there. Hello, Daniel.
I'm out of the basement. How are you, Marco?
I'm doing great, and you?
I'm good. Thanks for leaving that cookie, and tasted pretty good.
Okay, yes, yes. Even though it's only one cookie, I want it to be the greatest cookie.
It did not disappoint.
Okay, so we we have someone. We have Arnaldo in Brazil watching us. So today we're gonna have some samba as well.
I
Okay,
like it.
and by the way, Arnaldo was the first. I think it was the first person on my network reviewing the Blue Yeti X, and
Mm-hmm.
I got amazed by that microphone. So thank you so much, Daniel, for joining me. I really enjoyed the live you made with our friend Ryan, and he's live right now as well.
Oh
I
yeah,
will ask you, please, to introduce yourself, and then we can start the conversation.
absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Daniel Sigman. I started at Blue Microphones almost 5 years ago this month, actually. So at that time, Logitech wasn't quite in the picture yet, but as Marco said, Logitech was checking out Marco's setup and went, "What if we just combine these products?" And so about, I want to say it was mid 2018. That's when Logitech announced they were acquiring Blue Microphones. So now I'm fully in the picture with Logitech. At this point, I handle a lot of what we call sales enablement. So that's a lot of training of retail staff. That's a lot of merchandising, making sure that displays look good on, if you walk into a Best Buy or another store. We do a lot of retail events around the world, or I at least do a lot of US and Canadian ones. Other people do things around the world. But outside of that, yeah, it's a lot of training and a lot of making sure that our products look as good as they possibly can on the shelf.
Perfect, perfect. And because I think the most difficult thing when we are talking about Logitech products, and I'm not saying this is difficult. It's the most difficult. It's that people buys the first product from your brand, because after that you get addicted. Because okay, let me rephrase this, because it's not easy to sell the second because they last so long.
Mhm.
That challenge as well, because for instance, I don't know, I think, well, at least my C920, I'm sure that I bought it 7 years ago, okay, and still working. My Blue Snowball Ice, the same. So let me ask you, I was about to ask you something else, but I need to ask you this. When people talks about with you about these two brands, which things they highlight more? These
Yeah, I think,
main things.
in terms of the durability, I think reliability in general is a big point. You know, a lot of customers don't want to take the time to tinker with these, webcams and microphones, keyboards, mice. They want things to just work right out of the box. So I think we've gotten to a point now, especially now with all of our brands, but we want the experience to be you open the box, you plug it in or you turn it on, and it just works and continues to work for a long time. I think one of the coolest inventions we have actually is for our mice. Out in Switzerland, we have a device where it literally clamps onto the mouse and just goes back and forth with it for hours. And what it's simulating is a human using a mouse for years and years and years, but it's doing that in a shorter amount of time. But that's kind of the level of detail we care about with these products, is we want to make sure it's, it's going to last more than a month or a year or something like that. We want people to invest in these products and know that it's going to just do the job and do it for a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, you have in the podcasting and live streaming, you have to let's put three standards, because the C920, even though it's an old webcam, it's still there, highlighting, shining. I think the Brio came as well and has a nice spotlight as well, and of course the Blue Yeti. It's one of the most famous microphones in the market. I think maybe this could be a standard when we talk about USB microphones. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I think it's so true. And I think the thing that proves it is we still sell all of those products. We've come out with new webcams and new microphones and all this stuff, but we never stopped selling C920. We never stopped selling the Yeti. There's quite a few products like that where it's just the consumer demand is still there. So why would we stop if people still like using it and still does its good things? Obviously technology is moving.
No sound. You muted yourself. People may be thinking, "Oh my God, I don't think that Blue microphone is that good."
You gotta love tech issues in the morning. There's always something, but you can hear me okay again?
Yeah, perfect. That's perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so we're still selling those products because of how long lasting they've been and how durable they are. But as technology proceeds, you kind of mentioned it with the Brio. Let's say you do want a 4K camera instead of that 1080p camera. We obviously want to be there for those customers who want to kind of step up. So there's definitely a level of, okay, this has been working for me. I need to see what's next. But if the thing you have is still working for you, that's great. We're not in a position to really push people to keep updating or, oh, this product isn't going to be supported with software in 2 years or anything like that. That's not really our MO. We want people to really just find the tools that they need for their setup, or whether they're working or streaming or anything like that, and just be able to continue to use it as long as they want to.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think this is something interesting, because when I had someone from Shure, one of the things I asked her was about the Shure SM7B, because this is a standard as well.
For sure.
And it's funny because, and I think I can put the Blue Yeti as a standard in maybe in the same level, even though we are talking about different microphones. But the thing is, when we talk about Logitech, we are talking about also, and Blue, of course, let's put them together. We are talking about innovation, about bringing new products, but at the same time, we have to keep and be cautious about these kind of golden players. How can you innovate in this case? Because the Blue Yeti, it's a thing. When I bought, let me share this. When I bought the Blue Snowball Ice, I was well, it was my first real microphone. I was looking to a microphone, so the first one who caught my eye, because the Blue Yeti, it has that, it caught the eye because it's a really nice, good-looking microphone, solid. That retro look, it's also for me. I like that kind of microphone. But the thing was, my budget didn't allow me to, so I got.
Yeah.
How do you balance? How do you manage this innovation with the need of keep that references on your products?
You kind of actually hit it on the head, because to your point, not everyone can afford a Yeti the second they want to have a microphone, and not everyone can afford an SM7B the second they want to have a microphone. Getting into those big audio interfaces and stuff like that, it can cost a lot if you're not careful. So I would kind of say, as we look at products, I think we try to find where people's price points are, but also what features they really use. So this is actually a good segue, but one of the products I pulled out is actually the Yeti Nano, which is, a smaller version of the Yeti. It has one less capsule, so it does a few less polar patterns. It does the cardioid and omnidirectional. But I think this is a really good example of us looking to the future of, okay, Yeti is a mainstay. This isn't going anywhere, but what's something else we can introduce to the market that maybe fits kind of consumer needs a little better? And one of the biggest complaints about Yeti was always that it's so big. It's kind of a towering microphone when you put it on your desk. And some people like that because, it looks great on camera. And if they're doing that, that's great. But if you're in like a little office or something and you got a small desk or anything like that, you might not want that, or you want something you can travel with. And I think this was the perfect compromise of, okay, this mic itself is like half the size of the Yeti. You can just throw this in a bag anywhere. You can put this on a little desk, anything like that. But the quality is still comparable enough to the standard Yeti that you're getting that experience like you had a Yeti microphone. So I think that's kind of more where we position things now. It's not so much, okay, we need to get rid of the Yeti and do something different. It's more, what can we do differently within the lineup that makes sense for what consumers are needing? And I think you even mentioned the Yeti X2. I think that was kind of a nice, little evolution on the Yeti of, you like these features, let's throw in a few more, let's throw in some RGB, let's make the capsules a little tighter so cardioid's a bit better, things like that. So it's more of an evolution of the product than a revolution of something completely different.
Absolutely. And you made me think about something important, because my background is marketing, even though I'm kind of right now, people think that I'm only a live streamer. My background, it's marketing. And one of the things, and this could be a really nice topic to talk about, because sometimes we have that thing about the people. The people doesn't do that. The people, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, you realize, okay, some people, they tend to like the Blue Yeti, but some people, they maybe like a more muscled Yeti. So you came with the X.
Mm-hmm.
And some people want maybe a lighter Yeti. So you came with the Nano. How do you listen to people?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, we get feedback from all corners of the world, and it's constantly, oh, I want it bigger, I want it smaller, I want it in this color or that color. I think at the end of the day, we do try a lot of things. We've been a lot more adventurous with colors lately, especially on the gaming side. Things used to be all black everything, period, and now it's like, well, what if this was pink? So I'd say that's kind of our first step in listening to people of, okay, you say you want these products, so we're going to try some different things and see if you actually do want these products. And I think a lot of them have been successful. I think it is important to listen to feedback and kind of gather stuff. Now, that being said, obviously you're going to have people who come at you and say, well, I don't like the way the Yeti sounds, and so I'll never buy it. To which we say, that's great. Go find another microphone that you do like how it sounds, and then you're good. We can't make everyone happy is kind of my point on that. But we can do our best to find what people do like and what little things we could do to kind of appease more and more people and find the right solution for them.
Absolutely. And another thing, I don't know if you saw some of my live shows.
I've seen a handful. Oh, yeah.
One of the things I like to highlight about I can put the broader because I think they all fit these three nice features. The design, I think Logitech and also, of course, Blue, they work hard on the design.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how long they last. And for instance, I have on my desk, let me 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, maybe around 10 items from both brands. And that's how I say, I bought these speakers, the Z323, I think they are
okay,
kind of old, and But I look at them; they work so fine. Why do I need to buy
Oh
another
yeah,
one?
and that's the beauty of a lot of our product categories. It's just, you need what you need for your desk or your solution or working from home or anything. And so, why do you have to go out and buy $1,000 speaker system when you just like, I just need audio to come out of my computer. So we totally understand that need.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, because they are kind of old, but and this is the third point, is that they do really well their job.
Mhm.
Okay, for instance, these headsets, the H390,
Oh yeah.
I I sell them every day. Even on my shoppable videos, I think they are in the top three most viewed videos.
Wow,
The
that's awesome.
Okay, with hundreds of views. Okay, so this is something that I really like, and it's important, even though we are in a time that people like to buy. It's important, also, and this is could be tricky. Share with me your thoughts as a brand, because okay, brands, they want to sell, but also again, another matter of balance, how you balance selling, but also at the same time, though, that um, reliability that you mentioned before.
Yeah, I think what you're kind of getting at is the marketing mentality of good, better, best, and not everything always fits perfectly into one of those three categories. But I'd say that's generally with products a good way to think about it. You always want to start with good. You don't want anything that's less than good, and that's kind of your baseline moving forward. But you're always going to have people who want a couple more features. I think even with the Yeti, it's a good example of it has that kind of bi-directional polar pattern where it's like front and back, which is good for interview style. So if that's something you want, then you want to step up to a Yeti as opposed to a Yeti Nano or a Snowball or anything like that and get those types of features. I think that's kind of the key is, with the headsets, we have wireless headsets. If you don't want a wire, you can step up to a wireless one. If you don't care that there's a wire there, then don't step up to the wireless one. You should get the wire one. So as long as every product category is still sturdy in its durability, reliability, and has the features that you need at those price points, I think that's kind of the key that we look at is, we can make really high-end stuff for the enthusiasts who want to jump out and get it. And a lot of those products are successful, but that doesn't mean we have to only do that or only do, okay, this product is $20 and you can just run out and buy it super easily. There's a blend. You want people to kind of check things out and then work their way up, the price ladder, if you will, of other features.
Perfect, perfect. And talking about features, new products, I'm seeing there something which is that keyboard, and I'm a huge fan of that keyboard.
Oh yeah.
Because again, it has that retro looking, but also it's so, I can call it cute and so
It's a
tempting.
little cute, yeah. I think cute is fair. But
What do
yeah,
you
so
have to tell?
so this is the Pop Keys. It's kind of one of our newer keyboards out in the market. Basically, with this keyboard, what you can do is there's mechanical keys instead of the more like soft silicone of a lot of our other Logitech keyboards. Almost makes it like a gaming style keyboard with the mechanical feel. But we are really experimenting with that mechanical feel in the more consumer space outside of gaming, and I think this is a great example of one of those products. But one of the fun things, I'll try to get it right in on the camera. Hopefully you can see that okay. But there's little emoji keys right here, and you can actually swap those out. So what you can do is as you're typing, let's say you got your text messages up on a Mac or something like that, you can just hit the key and then the emoji will pop up on screen because it's just like a macro essentially of that emoji. And there's a couple of different ones you can swap in and out. There's another button where you can just access all of your emojis. So it's kind of a more fun take on keyboards. Obviously, as Logitech, we've made keyboards for like 30 plus years at this point. So we've kind of experimented with a lot of things, but it's been a long time since we've done kind of a more like that retro modern feel that Blue is really well known for. I'd say that comes across really well in this keyboard. But it's also a great way of kind of getting more kids and more people who just want something a little more fun and different in their life. And we even have like a matching mouse. So these mice and keyboards come in a couple different colors. So you can pick the one that really fits your vibe. Essentially, I personally really like this yellow and black. I think it really pops out. Hence pop keys, pop mouse. But yeah, that's kind of the newest, I would say, in terms of keyboards and mice for people who want something a little different.
If it was yellow and brown, it will be a perfect fit for my brand.
You could paint all the keys, I guess. But... I don't know if I'd recommend it, but you could try.
But it works both on Windows and Mac, right?
Yeah, so you can actually connect it to a number of devices. So it comes with what we call Logi Bolt. It's our newest dongle. So that you can plug in, automatically connects, and you can use that with PC, PC, Mac, Chromebooks, basically any type of computer really through the dongle. But it's also Bluetooth enabled. So if you want to connect it to your phone or an iPad or a tablet or anything like that, you can do that too. And you actually see a little right here, it says like 1, 2, 3. So you can connect to 3 different devices and just switch between them by hitting the keys. And so you can have your phone like next to you and type up a text, switch back to your computer, keep typing. Super friendly like that.
Oh my God. That's awesome. Yes. So you can pair this with 3 different devices, and then you can switch from one to another.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just hitting those keys once you set them up, that's
God.
it. Yeah. It's honestly so easy to use too, because once you've set it up, that's all you have to do, and then you're ready to go.
I think the problem I see there, because let me do my disclosure about this. One of the things I like is to show my gear. So I think it's a little bit frustrating having a keyboard so funny and cute like that, and we cannot show, because I don't think okay, and look, another Logitech. I don't think
not quite the same, but it's still good.
but that's the thing. Okay, I got froze right now.
Oh
my God.
my microphone, your camera.
Okay, let's see if this. Okay, maybe I can change the camera, hopefully. Okay, I think it's working. I'm back to life. I defrosed. Perfect. So, Daniel, do you have something else there to show? Because I think this, you have some. Yes. I was about to ask about the Litra.
Yes.
Because I think this is a new thing, if I can say it this way, okay, we lost Daniel. Oh my God, this is going nice. Let's wait to see if he can connect, because he's having some problems. Can you hear me, Daniel? That's the thing about live streaming. Let me know if you have any questions, by the way. Drop in the comments if you want. You can join us on Amazon.live, so you can get to see what we are talking about here. Let's see if Daniel can connect. I think it was so much emotion on their side. Let's see if he can connect. Oh my God. Let's see if he can join us. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment section. Okay, let me know if you're using some Logitech devices. And have you ever tried? Okay, I think we have Daniel back. Oops. Hello.
Hello. It's always something right now.
Yeah. Live streaming being live streaming.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. It wouldn't be a good show unless both the microphone and the camera went out. I have the light though, so that's the good news.
Awesome.
Yeah. So this is actually one of our newest products. This is the Litra Glow. What's really cool about it is kind of has a stand right here, so you can put it on like your desktop monitor, or if you
Yes.
want to take it on the go, you can take the light off itself, put it on a little tripod. So it's very versatile in that way. But what's really nice about it is the light is adjustable in terms of brightness, but also color temperature. But even if you're at full brightness, full white looking light, it's a really soft tone light compared to, let's say, some of those big behemoth studio lights that come at you. So I actually have one on right now myself. And the thing that I love about it is there are times where I forget it's even on because it's not blinding my eyes. And I'll walk away from my desk and be like, oh, I forgot to turn the light off, because it's just like that's seamless basically in my room. So I think that's really important for people who, like you, who are streaming, day after day after day. You don't want something that's just piercing your eyes after,
Yeah,
a long
indeed.
session, or some of these Twitch streamers that are on there for 8+ hours. Like, if you have a light that's hurting your eyes, that's going to do some serious damage over time. So that's what's really nice about this. It gives you light, it gives you adjustable light, but it's not so bright that it's, going to affect your day, basically. It's more just it enhances your picture really smoothly, all in this kind of compact, easy to adjust form factor.
And I think one of the good things about it, it's portability.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we need to go out and we aren't traveling or something, but there's a invitation or something to join a live show, and we are not sure if you'll get the best light. So we can put, I think it's easy to put that, and maybe having a pair
Oh,
because
yeah.
and put it in a backpack or in the suitcase and carry it, because I don't think that it's heavy, is it?
No, it's very light. And, like I said, you can even take the light part off of the stand. So if you don't even want the stand, you can do it that way and just throw some like tripods in your bag. And to your point about having two, you can even sync them setting wise. We have a software called Logitech G Hub. And through there, you can sync two lights and just adjust one, and then both of them will do it. And that way you won't have, conflicting lights on either side of you, one that's darker and one that's lighter or anything like that. So super versatile, like you said, for on the road use.
Okay, you made a serious big mistake right now,
Uh-oh.
Daniel, mentioning softwares,
Ah,
because because I think I don't think I'm sure that one of the most amazing things about Logitech slash Blue products, and I think with the Blue Yeti, I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. If it's the first time you come with a software for a USB microphone.
basically, I would say we started experimenting a little with the Yeti Nano actually when that came
Okay.
out. We had software where you were close.
Okay.
But yeah, with that microphone, you could adjust basically the polar patterns, the gain of the mic, the headphone volume. So basically the standard features of the microphone through software instead of having to actually touch the body of the mic. Obviously, that's handy if you're in a situation like this and don't want to be hitting the microphone with your fingers or anything like that. But just last year, Yeti Nano, Yeti, and Yeti X now have like a full suite of software through that G Hub, where you can change your EQ, you can add effects, you can throw in like funny voices. We have like chipmunk helium, type voices and demon low voices and things like that. You can really make it your own. And you can even download presets that other people have made, which is really cool. But basically with that, it's, you have your microphone, you know it works, it's easy to plug and play, all that stuff. But using software, let's say you don't really like, you're one of those people we talked about earlier who doesn't really like the sound of the Yeti. You can change the sound of the Yeti now. You can plug it in, tinker with it in software, change the EQ. Suddenly it's a different microphone.
Okay, so you just to mention another, and I don't know if you remind about that conversation about what people does or doesn't do, because
Right.
I don't like that conversation, because there's no people. There are some people that like things like that, and other people like that, and other people like, and yes, I think one of the good things about USB devices like webcams and microphones mostly is that they are plug and play and that's it. But so many people, they like to fine tune, to adjust, to adjust the brightness, the exposure, the
For sure.
sharpness, and one of the things I love about Logitech, another one, is how many softwares you have to control. And for instance, when I'm reviewing the C920, I like to make this joke because I say, look, Logitech doesn't have one, it has two softwares which allows you to control the camera. And you have the Logic Capture, and this for me it's amazing as well. You have the Logic Capture, which is more complex. You can make more. You can yes, you can make more from it, because for instance you can record a tutorial with that. It's an amazing software. But also for people who doesn't want which wants more than plug and play but don't want to get too complex, you have the Logic Capture, which
Mhm.
is awesome, where you can adjust because this is nice as well, because sometimes when we want to adjust a webcam, we need to disconnect if we can't use it while we are adjusting it, or the opposite. And with that software, with your cameras, you can adjust on the fly.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of laugh that you think having multiple softwares is a good thing, because again, with these people's conversation, there are people who hate that we have multiple softwares and wish there's just one solution for everyone. But I think at the moment, I do like how we have, kind of to your point, stuff that's a little easier to jump in on and just, okay, this is very user friendly. I know what I'm doing. We're good. Or you can jump into more detail and do more complicated things. One of our more recent acquisitions was actually Streamlabs. So a lot of you might be familiar, I'm sure, but a lot of Twitch users use Streamlabs to kind of make that the front end of where their stream is going into Twitch. So captures all of their computer, their mic, all that stuff, sends it to Twitch. So that I would say is kind of the most complex way you could go. You can record things, you can stream things, you can do all that stuff. If you don't care about any of that stuff, don't use it. Use a different piece of software. Use Tune we have even, which is very
Logitune,
basic.
yes, Logitune, yes.
Yeah, super basic, super easy to use. Couple just features. You can see it in real time what's changing. Yeah, so much easier to use than if you really want to tinker in there. But if you do want to tinker in there, by all means, go ahead. And I think that's the beauty of kind of the flexibility of a lot of these products is it doesn't have to be just the one thing you think it's going to be. Even our mice, a lot of times you can adjust like the shortcuts for them. We have another piece of software called Logitech Options where you can do that. So, like I said, there's a lot of software. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's really about the way customers want to use their products. If you want to just have a mouse that just does a left and a right click and has a wheel, go ahead. But if you want one that can set macros and you can, I'm going to hit this button and then my microphone's going to turn on or off on Zoom, you can do that too.
Great. I need to, because I'm curious I need to ask you this provocative.
Hopefully not too provocative.
Yeah, I need to be, because one of the most famous products among live streamers, content creators, let's put it this way, is the Stream Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Is Logitech thinking about coming up with something similar?
So, unfortunately, because we're a publicly traded company, I can't go too into any non-release products. I would say the kind of stopgap we have at the moment is G keys. So a lot of our G products in the gaming division, even my keyboard right now, I have like G1 through G5. Here, I can show you because it's on my desk.
Okay.
So kind of over here, yeah, we
Oh,
have
I
these
see.
5 keys right here. Yeah. So I actually use G2 to turn on my light or turn it off. So let's see. You can kind of see it gets darker, gets a little brighter. And that's
Yeah,
all from just pushing this key
yeah,
right
we
there.
can tell. We can tell.
So that's kind of what we have at the moment. I would say that's the closest thing to a Stream Deck is, being able to do those features like that. But it's honestly, it's very handy because you can assign that to just about anything. It doesn't have to even be a Logitech product. There are like sound effects you can throw in when you hit those keys, which is great for streaming or anything like that. So that's kind of all I have to say about Stream Decks. It's a cool product for sure.
Absolutely. Which keyboard you showed me right now?
Yeah.
You showed.
So this is actually the G915. As you can see, it's a very like
Oh
slim
my God.
profile, but this one's the full size gaming keyboard. But there's also a TKL version for those of you who don't want the number pad. But the thing that I really like about it is I used to have a keyboard where I needed a palm rest because it was just so chunky and big,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kind of my hands were literally like this basically to get on those keys. Because this one's so low profile, I don't even have that now on my desk. My hands just naturally sit on it and it feels great to use. It's light, because it's wireless, I can go walk over there and keep typing and it's all good. But it's sturdy too. It's not like, oh, we made it lighter and now suddenly it's all plastic. This is a really hardcore, metal on it. So basically, if you're serious about gaming, I would definitely recommend checking out the G915. It's got a great feel, whether you want the TKL version or the full size version. We do the normal tactile, clicky, or linear keys, so you can kind of get some different feedback on your fingers depending on what you like. But yeah, that's the G915.
Well, and something that it's important as well because we tend to spend more and more time with the keyboard, with the mouse, and about these injuries we get and these problems.
Oh yeah.
How is Logitech working on this ergonomic thing?
Yeah, that's actually a great call out. I wish I had a few of the products here, but we actually have a whole line of specifically ergonomic keyboards and mice. So we have one keyboard where it's a split design, so your hands are in a more natural position typing. We have vertical mice, so instead of having your hand down, your hand is actually like this, because they say that if your arm is straight like this, that's going to be better for your arm and posture compared to having your hand over a mouse like that. So there's kind of different variations of things that we look at for that. But even in our specifically called out ergonomic products, it's still an important feature because at the end of the day, you're totally right. If you're using a keyboard and mouse all day, every day, and it's not in a good position and it's going to hurt your wrists, then that's going to be a bad product for you. And that's not something we want to do to our customers.
Absolutely, absolutely. And another thing to change the subject, the topic a little bit, because I'm seeing there a guitar, a keyboard, and okay. And I made this mistake as well because I thought that mainly Blue microphones they were for content creators, okay, like podcasters, live streamers, gamers. But and the other day I was surprised because you have really, but I'm really expensive and nice microphones.
For
What
sure.
can you say about it?
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that because I think a lot of people feel that way about Blue. They found out about us through the Snowball and the Yeti. But 10 years before we even did the Snowball, we were a totally studio XLR microphone company. The founders used to take old vintage microphones and kind of fix them up with new parts to make them a little cleaner and help them last longer. And eventually they went, why are we fixing other people's microphones when we can make our own microphones with these designs? So that's really where Blue came from. Fun fact, Blue actually stands for Baltic Latvian Universal Electronics. So they're it's not just a color. It's a little bit more than that. But the thing that I really find interesting about it, from a musician standpoint, is they viewed microphones as like a color palette, and that lends into the Blue name for sure. But each of our microphones has a very unique sound to it. A lot of microphone companies just do, okay, at this price, you get this microphone. If you pay more, you get a bigger microphone, or you get another polar pattern, but it's the same microphone basically. There are very few Blue XLR microphones that sound like each other, and that's intentional. We want things to sound brighter or darker, or more in the mid or more in the high or anything like that. That's really how they viewed all of these microphones. So Blue has this huge history of studio mics. There's a ton of people who use them. I don't know if you're like into Tool or Miley Cyrus or Katy Perry. A ton of these guys have used our microphones in the studio. Blink 182, if you're a pop punk fan, I think they have a bottle, which is our most expensive mic. They use that on like
Yeah, I
every
saw
record,
it.
basically.
And I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh my God.
Yeah, that thing's a beast. It's like this big, and it has interchangeable capsules, so you can change that sound again, and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So I think that's really where that kind of future retro design philosophies and just the more unique sound that we had really came from, is from those early days of tinkering with mics and coming out with our own. And it took a minute to get into the USB mics. Obviously, those are a huge hit at this point. We're talking about Yeti being a mainstay in USB mics. That's, no question asked there. But I think we were able to do that and get some validity in doing it because we had those studio microphones. We weren't just some random company that came out of nowhere and said,
Yeah.
here's the new microphone. We had a
There you go.
history. We had a history of making mics, so it made a lot more sense.
Absolutely. And one of the things, again, it's the design. I think this is, even though I like this kind of microphone, like for instance, the SM7B, because it's not fancy. But I saw that Hummingbird, I think it is, and this kind of bottle. Oh my God, they are really awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Hummingbird's a really cool one for like percussions, because the head of the capsule can actually like swivel. So you
Oh,
can
I
get
see.
the mics close to where you need it on like a drum set, but then you can really fine tune the precision of it to get exactly where you need it. So that makes a big hit with like drummers, especially because with every other mic, you just put it in front, and then if you want to change it, you have to move the whole setup to get it into the right spot. Whereas this one, you just go, and that's it.
Perfect. We are almost reaching the time. I don't want to. So, if you can kind of give or leave three reasons or three main things about your products, which would it be?
An interesting question. I would say the first thing is we've really centered ourselves around work, play, create. So whether you're working, whether you're gaming, whether you're creating content, Logitech probably has a product you're interested in to some degree, especially if you're getting started. So that would be point number one. Point number two, I think we kind of talked about this with ergonomics, but I think one of the things I really like about Logitech is they really take into consideration what people need to use to be healthy and sustainable. I think there's a lot of companies out there that just, I hate to say it like this, but they just keep pumping out plastic stuff. And they're just like, we're just going to make stuff, and we're going to fill every price point category no matter what. I think we've done a good job of kind of stepping away from that and focusing more on, okay, what are the features people need, and how do you step up to the bigger features that you want? For the third thing, I would say if you're a big fan of tech, stay tuned. There's a lot of really cool, exciting things coming, and hopefully we'll be back together at some point later this year, maybe with some new stuff.
Perfect. Well, let me know. I will be with an eye on you. And if it's something new, I will bring you back if you want, of course,
Absolutely. Yeah,
to
I
my
would love
live
to do
show.
that.
Just before wrapping, how can people find you?
Yeah, feel free to find me on LinkedIn. That's how you and I got started, which was great. So yeah, LinkedIn is good. You can just look up Daniel Sigman, Logitech Blue. That's me. Feel free to shoot me an email, dsigman@logitech.com is perfect. I'd say those two are probably the best ways to get in touch with me.
Okay, perfect. Well, Daniel, thank you so for
Thank you
stopping
so much
by.
for having me, Marco.
It was a really nice and insightful conversation. Thank you so much for you, which were listening, watching this live show.
Oh yeah.
Keep keep tuning because I will be back, and maybe soon or later I will get Daniel again. Bye bye. See ya.
Thanks so much, Marco.